Hello and welcome to Viking Quest. In this first introductory video, I just wanted to touch a couple of basic points about what the Viking Quest channel is really going to be about, what kind of subjects I'm going to put in to the videos that we have, and I'm also going to be asking the very first question of Viking Quest, and that is, what is a Viking Re-enactor? And these videos are really going to start off like a journey, hence the name Viking Quest. It's going to start off and take the point of giving information to potentially new people who aren't involved in the Viking Reenactment Society, and it's going to introduce them to all sorts of different things, everything from the combat and what they can expect from combat, and what they can expect from different types of Viking reenactment groups and the styles, and all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to do kit breakdowns so that I can explain what kit is good to use and what isn't good to use. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to get into these videos, but let's start with this very simple question. What is a Viking Re-enactor? So the question, what is a Viking Re-enactor? I would say that a Viking Re-enactor is someone who has the ability to take a small portion of history from the Viking Age, and this information might be in the form of a character or a place or a settlement or a group and a warband or any of these things, and they'll take these things and bring them forward and put them into a show. And this show is designed so that people who have potentially never seen this kind of environment before can come to a show and see these people dressed in chain, helmet, shield, weapon, and they can portray these Vikings that history shows that we had and that we were. And the audience can get two things from those shows. The first thing they can get is the entertainment value of the combat, and that entertainment comes in the drama and the acting and the play of the actual thing. And the second thing they can get is some information and education, because there's a lot about the Vikings that people didn't know, and there's a lot that people thought they knew that, whilst it hasn't changed, it's been proven to have changed, that our understanding of the situation has changed. So those are the two fundamentals behind being a Viking reenactor in the Western style. The clear difference between Eastern style and Western style, quite simply, I would say, is the ferocity and the brutality behind the shows that they perform. They both perform decent shows, but for very different reasons. And that's my next subject. Where can you find Viking reenactors? Viking reenactors, much like anything else, can be found on the internet. I would quite simply go on Google and I would search for your area, for what you're looking for. So you might be looking for a Viking reenactment group in Nottingham, or something like that. And you'll come up with, or you could be even broader, and you could say Viking reenactment group in North America, and you'll get loads of them. Now, your typical groups that you're going to find are going to be smaller groups that are involved in a society. You've also got other groups as well that are much, much smaller, much more local as well. But that's something that you're most definitely going to be able to find, is a group that's close to you. Google them, search for them, refer through to their Facebook, look at videos, look at pictures, look at their website, look at the events that they've done, look at these groups. And most certainly, if you're looking at these videos that I'm producing right now to get involved in some of these groups, and you're looking for more information, then by all means take my advice and go on Google and search in your local area for these groups, because Viking reenactment is something that's amazing and everyone can get involved in. Another thing that you might come across, most certainly come across, is the combat aspect of stuff. You'll come up to a group who may be doing a show, and they may be dressed in their war gear. They may have a helmet and their shield and their clothing on, and they might be going out to do a little combat display. And usually that would mean that they'd have a large area that you should be able to see, a large area that's reserved specifically for the combat. And you'll see them go onto the field, and some of them, a lot of the groups tend to do it differently, and you could see a combat of between 10 people into the hundreds and hundreds of people, depending on what event you go. Obviously, if you go to something like the Battle of Hastings, expect hundreds of people as opposed to tens. this is something that is amazing. It's great to watch. From the outside, from the sidelines, it's fantastic to watch. Two groups or even a bunch of individual people going at it together. And what you'll find from the outside is when you're not involved in any of these groups and you only ever see what's shown on the TV, you'll find that the stuff that you see is very different to what you thought it would be. It is very loud, and whether it's Eastern or Western, it's still relatively brutal. For people who aren't used to the brutality of combat such as this, it is definitely something that's well worth watching. And in almost all circumstances, when you see these groups at these events, you will always be greeted, or should always be greeted, with a smile. The people that are involved, they are all reenactment volunteers, so nobody typically gets paid for this kind of situation. It is purely a hobby to everyone. So coming back and answering the question I originally posted, what is a Viking reenactor? So Viking reenactment is really about two things simultaneously. It is about putting on a good show and entertaining. The entertainment aspect is always something that's going to be in question. And this entertainment aspect comes normally in the case of combat. It comes through combat, and you'll always have a really entertaining combat. And the second thing is the educational aspect of the Viking reenactment. It's the living history coming to life, quite simply. When you go forward, you should be introduced to these things. You should be introduced to things like crafting and shown the weapons, and kids would typically get to try the helmets on and have pictures taken and everything. These are the things that you can expect, or you should expect, from a good Viking reenactment group. So at this point, I would say that if you're interested in getting involved in Viking reenactment, and you may hear me say this a few times throughout the videos to come, if you're interested in getting involved with a Viking reenactment group, or even just checking it out, you may not want to get involved with it so much, but you may just want to check out some groups and like some videos and look out for some events maybe. I would most certainly go on Google, type in your local area looking for Viking reenactment groups. Look through on Google, through on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. These good groups all have these things, and they put their information out there, and they put their videos out there as advertisement to show people who they are and what they do. So this is the first video of what I'm hoping to be quite a few videos to come about the Viking Reenactment Society, and about, more specifically, Viking reenactment from my point of view. And some of the videos that I'm hoping to put forward are videos with subject lines such as kit assembly, or combat training with my local group. I could maybe even get some of those members within my group and other groups to talk specifically and help me demonstrate some weapons. So there'll be weapon demonstrations. There may even be events. I know there's an event coming up next month locally to me, and there's an event coming up the month after that, right close to me. So hopefully I'll be able to get my camera out and go down to them and either do a live stream of some sort, or even just do them like I'm doing them now, where I record them and edit them later. But either way, our channel is going to be specifically about bringing Viking reenactment to other people, and whether that's pre-existing Viking reenactors or pre-existing reenactors in other periods, right down to the people who didn't even realize it existed. Because at the end of the day, what we sign up for is the combat entertainment value and the historical significance of the lessons that we can teach. And these lessons may be this big, or they may be this big. But thank you very much for watching this first video, this introductory video into what we're trying to produce on this channel. If there are any questions, any comments, any feedback, or anything that I can change or we can change to make things better, then please leave them in the comments below, send a message, any of those things. Get in touch with me or with us any way you can, and let us know your feedback. We'd love to produce more of these videos, but also become better at producing these videos as well. And obviously, if you're interested in hearing any more information about Viking reenactment from myself or from anyone else who I will get to do videos with eventually, please subscribe somewhere down here. And please, if you're interested in Viking reenactment, go on Google, search through Google, and see what you can find with videos. I assure you, some of the videos that you find on YouTube of Viking reenactment events are legendary and they're amazing, but it doesn't quite skim the surface of what it's like to be there or even be involved. So again, thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, goodbye.